Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Matt Talks, and as you can see in the title, today's topic is on roguelikes or roguelikes. I don't actually know what to call, but what better way to talk about roguelikes than to play The Binding of Isaac while talking about roguelikes? I could have worded that a little bit differently, but that just means my improvisation skills still need a little work. But nevertheless, given that lately I've sort of just being a bit tired of Enter the Gungeon, I've sort of just found myself just going back to The Binding of Isaac, which before doing so I had actually taken a break, and it's actually one thing I've actually noticed in my own general experience with roguelikes, in that there's always, like, after a period of time I just feel the need to take a break, because I would either like get stuck on something, or I would just get very frustrated. And or you know, like, or I would just hit a point where mentally I would just find it difficult to go on, and it's pretty much happened in every single roguelike I play. So it's definitely not something that's just unique to Enter the Gungeon. It's also happened in the Binding of Isaac, as well as Rogue Legacy, and probably a few other roguelikes as well, but none. I'm just struggling to remember which ones come to mind at the moment, but nevertheless, it at least gives me a good platform for talking about this kind of games and, you know, what they come to mean and that sort of thing. So I do apologize if there are frame drops in The Binding of Isaac. For some reason, this is a general thing, and my computer usually can't handle it very well. So I'm just hoping that the gameplay will still be somewhat watchable, but nevertheless, there will definitely be a bit some problems that are not too well, still noticeable enough. So ooh, it's Bumbo. Why not? Now, also noting I've got golden bombs, so I should probably take the opportunity to get plenty of coins for Bumbo, and to hopefully find some extra items that would be nice to have. So I suppose I should start by, like, explaining what roguelikes or roguelites are, and it's a very loose term that is now applied to games that have basically some kind of permadeath. And when I say permadeath, I basically mean, like, say, in this one run, if my character dies, then that character is dead, like, forever. Like, that character cannot be revived or anything of the sort. So and that's basically what they mean by permadeath. There's of course there's sort of like similar that was not good. There are similar instances in, like, say, I'm thinking of Diablo 3, and there's a hardcore mode where, like, if you die once, you've lost your character forever. So there are very similar instances of what has been called permadeath in roguelikes. So alright. Well, looks like I get something from the store. I would let Bumbo have the rest, and Bumbo is growing. But yeah, I think from memory, Binding of Isaac was the first for it to come up for me, and as such, it's only natural that I have, like, say, an affinity, or at least it'll be the first one I want to talk about. So, Binding of Isaac, my experience comes. I played, like, the original 4 or 5. Alright, thank you. Let's take this pill. Let's see what it is. Is the range up? I don't really want to keep the range up, but we'll definitely use the Empress for the boss. And I'm not going to be worried too much about me maxing at this point, because yeah, I mean, it's just, that's why I kind of just play casually now. It's like, what was down here? Okay, that was just, alright. And yeah, so Binding of Isaac was the first of such games that sort of just got me into the genre, and essentially it's sort of cemented what it's like. Since I've been playing it for long enough, I've sort of managed to figure out why is it that I enjoy roguelikes, or at least games very similar to The Binding of Isaac. And it's essentially because with the amount of randomization, it essentially allows for a lot of replayability, but also for a lot of variety. And variety isn't a bad thing, you know. It's nice knowing that when I jump into a new game, my experience is going to be different every time, and that I basically have to what's the best way to say it? Sort of work more on a reactive basis rather than thinking, okay, I'm gonna go do this and that and it's gonna, or execute this strategy. It's more like each room, I don't know what monsters are gonna appear, and or I will have a very faint idea of what monsters will appear, and I basically have to adjust on the go, and that's basically the appeal of the game. And in that you don't necessarily know what to expect. Alright, so what's this one? This one's luck up. Alright, won't take the other pill yet. I will just recharge my placebo before I do, and then I'll try the other pill, and then we'll see which one is better to take. I should have used the card for the boss so that I will actually have a slot to keep a pill in, but no big deal. Actually, wait, doesn't this... Ooh, keeper's hit. Don't I have a spare slot for pills? Okay, I don't, which is strange. Oh no, I'm thinking of a different item. But yeah, the Binding of Isaac, so the original Binding of Isaac, which is really not all that playable right now compared to, like, say if you come into it after playing Binding of Isaac Afterbirth. This is the anonymous one that was before. Yeah, it's not that playable, but definitely, again, it was a very novel idea. The game itself wasn't like all that great. I think it was built on, I mean, there was a trial version on Flash. Like, it started as a trial version on like a Flash website, and essentially, Bumble's been eating all my coins, which is kind of annoying. It started like a trial version on Flash, which was what am I trying to say? And I think still one of the... I do not want amnesia, and why did I blow myself up with a bomb? That was not very nice. Not very smart of me. Okay, so... And then, but I remember having so much problems with the original Binding of Isaac, in which you would have these weird slowdown, or like you would have trouble running, even though it looked like to be a very simple game, because it just wasn't, either it wasn't optimized well, or it was because it was written on Flash. So that's just like, I remember just having a bunch of problems with it. But nevertheless, the game was still fun, and it really sort of just, I guess opened my eyes to roguelikes and that kind of thing. So let's try if we can beat all these without getting hit. That would be quite nice, to be honest. Alright, almost there. Gonna be a frame drop. Let's take it easy now. Alright, so with the original Binding of Isaac, and then of course I kept up with everything else. I moved on to Rebirth, and then Afterbirth, and then and then it was like okay, this Satanic Bible I would definitely like, so I would definitely be taking that. Alright. Alright, so, and then, yeah, it was from there that I started turning my eye towards other games, so, that includes Rogue Legacy. Rogue Legacy was a interesting one. It was, like, not the best, but they definitely had an idea, and they set out to achieve it, and I dare say they did well enough for it to be, at least, you know, something worth checking out. But the main problem with Rogue Legacy is that after a while, it just becomes very, very grindy, so... And it's probably not the, okay. Please, Bumble, do not eat up all these coins. I need a few. Thank you. I'll get the Humbling Bundle, and that should make my life easy for the rest of this run. I can't be bothered checking out the other rooms, because I've got amnesia now, so I don't know what the map looks like. So, not gonna bother, I'm just gonna go down to the next floor. Rogue Legacy. Rogue Legacy was interesting because, basically you have each character, and each character was like basically a representative of a generation. Keep that black heart in mind. Each character is basically a representative of a generation, and of course each of them came with their own randomized quirks, which was interesting. It was fun as well, and I would say that was part of the charm of the game. And then essentially you were conquering this castle that was just basically built of, like, say, you know, you just had like a whole bunch of oh, okay, easy now. Basically had like a whole do I want to go into chest? Yeah, sure, why not? Alright, that's a lot of money for Bumbo. Okay, I'll grab that last one, thank you. But the other main but it was more like very what's the word? I want to say it's like a very smash and oh god, what's the term? It's like it seemed like very much a brawl game, but you still had to effectively wind your way through a sort of like a like a 2D platformer sort of thing. And at the same time, okay, do I blow this up? Yeah, yes I do. Okay, we'll grab that. Get the heck out of here. And yeah, Rogue Legacy was fun, but also like after a point, I just ended up taking a break because it's like there's a point in between where you can be good enough, but it feels like you're not getting anywhere, even though you know. Yeah, there's a point where it just feels like you're not getting anywhere, and I found that to be an issue with almost all the roguelikes I've played so far. There's sort of like a point where it's like you've sort of reached a bit of a glass ceiling, and sometimes you don't know whether it's just the game's RNG screwing you over, or just the randomness of the game just sort of screwing you over, or you don't know whether it's just, you know, or whether it's just your own ability. So it's definitely something that's not very easy to discern when you're playing such games. Okay, I don't have a bomb. No bomb. I will grab Guppy's collar. Do I want? Yeah, why not? No bomb. Okay. Let's go. Really can't be bothered clearing out the other rooms, can I? Well, may as well. And I think that's one of the dangerous things about roguelikes for me, and that's sort of just what's hit me with Enter the Gungeon as well, because it feels like, I know like the very last episode, which was I don't remember which one it was, but the first time I reached the 5th floor, it's entitled the 5th floor, by the way. Like there was a lot of progress, but at the same time I was just kind of just feeling very fed up, because there was a series of runs, or I was starting to have runs where I just fell flat on my face, and that's like, you know, completely normal at times, and especially with the randomized nature of the game. It's like you're not always gonna have the perfect run, and since Enter the Gungeon is a bit more skill dependent for me, it was a bit slower to really get up to scratch on things. So but it's sort of like I've been playing long enough to sort of just recognize the game, and it's just like it's like on the first floor, it's like, oh, I know, okay, this is gonna happen, that sort of thing, and it just kind of grinds on me after a while, and that has happened with all the other roguelikes I've played so far. And then it's just like after a while, I'll just come back to it with sort of just like a fresh look on things, and then I'll just realize, and then I'll just sort of just be able to enjoy the charms of the game again, because it's like, I'm coming back to content I haven't seen, or I'm coming back to a game I haven't seen or played in a while, and I would just go ahead and clear it. And that's also what happened with me with Rogue Legacy. I think I quit for like a while, and then when I came back to it, I basically ended up clearing it the first time and the second time. I still need to clear, and that's when I realized I was just mentally done with Rogue Legacy, because the Rogue Legacy to like really complete the game, you have to clear 3 times from memory. I might be wrong. You're welcome to correct me on that. But definitely it was that was like where I just said, okay, I'm done with Rogue Legacy. Let's just wrap it up for now. So yeah, I'm quite happy with my efforts in Rogue Legacy and what I've done so far. So I'm not gonna worry too much about it. Alright, do I want? No, that's a missing page. Not useful for me. And I guess there's only so much repetition you can get so far, so it's like having to play Rogue Legacy, the whole thing again from scratch, like a 3rd time. That was kind of the nail in the coffin. But like for me, and I guess it's the same for the other roguelikes as well. There's sort of a moment where you just sort of just get sick of seeing, where you just sort of get sick of seeing the same things, and it just sort of grinds. Well, at least for me, and probably not some other people, it grinded on me for a while, and it's just like sometimes you just felt like same shit, different day, and it's certainly not a very healthy mindset to not. I want to say mindset. I guess it's more feelings towards the game sort of thing. It's just like because one thing that really bothers me in Enter the Gungeon is like the first floor. I mean, the first floor is easy enough for me to get through, but then it's sort of like all the other floors just feel like a drag to get into, and I guess part of it is also that I'm missing sort of like a sense of progression, a sense of improvement, where which I suppose is a bit of a. I guess I'm being a bit hypocritical there because like I said before in my latest video Enter the Gungeon at the time of I'm recording this, with that, you know, I had made a lot of progress, but I think it wasn't really enough to offset, say, like I guess the relative boredom of seeing everything else, and that's sort of like when I realized, okay, I need to take a break from Enter the Gungeon for a bit, and I mean that's me. Like there are some people, you know, who, you know, don't get tired of such games, and, you know, that's great for them. They, you know, all the more power to them. I mean, like, if you know, like, say, if you follow other YouTubers like Northernlion and Last Grey Wolf, then you would, you know, they're still going strong. Northernlion is still going strong on Briny the Isaac, and Last Grey Wolf is still doing Gungeon streaks, and obviously, it's part of it is also they're good enough at the game to be able to sort of get to that point and continue and enjoying the game to the point where those sort of things don't actually bother them. So definitely for me, since my I guess my own mechanical skills aren't that great, certainly there is something left to be desired for me, but it also means that I can't progress far enough within Enter the Gungeon to, you know, sort of just enjoy and appreciate the additional parts. And again, it's another to each their own sort of thing, so it's certainly not the fault of the game. It's just that sort of the way they designed the game, it's not meant to essentially appeal to everyone. And but I mean, certainly like when you create a game, you want it to appeal to a whole bunch of people. And okay, let's, there we go. Fat art mushroom damage on, very welcome. And yeah, with this type of games, you definitely want to try and appeal to a wide variety of people, and definitely the replayability is a huge factor or point in a lot of people. So let's see. I'm just sort of sussing out what I want here, and I'm just gonna clear out this other room while I can. I definitely should pick up a few more coins rather than let Bumbo have all of them, because he's being such a greedy fellow. Alright, so, and yeah, I mean, I've actually got a game code for another one called Star Wars Rogue, and I do plan to like almost seriously get into that sometime, but at the same time, it's sort of like, part of me is thinking, well, it's another roguelike, and I'm just thinking, well, it basically means I still have to sort of like learn everything, and because it's like I'm having to get used to a new game, and it's like part of me is thinking maybe I want something a bit different, and or just something familiar. It's a bit hard to say, to be honest. Let's grab the heart in case I get a variety of devil deals. I can grab the, okay, it's Krampus. Well, at least I've got the dice shard to reroll Krampus's head if I get that, so let's not worry about that too much. Okay, lump of coal, very welcome. Alright, so dice shard, let's go pick up that spirit heart, we'll head straight down. Story-wise, I'm just thinking about the story in these roguelikes, and I'm sort of realizing there doesn't really seem to be that much in terms of a story, because I mean, it's like if you think of Binding of Isaac, I mean, there's sort of like parts of the story that are unlocked at a bunch of points, and battery is nice. This bomb is not. Wow, really? Okay. Well, let's not complain too much about it, because I can definitely just recharge myself, because I'm good enough at the game to do so. Alright, so story in roguelikes. Story is pretty, they're fairly minimal. I mean, like, the Binding of Isaac kind of has like a deep-ish story behind it, but it's not something that's really sort of just sussed out that easily. It's quite easy to sort of just see and go, okay, yeah, something is happening here, but since I don't know enough, I'm not gonna pay too much attention to it. And same with Rogue Legacy, not that much of a story either. It's more just like generations of people, and then it's just like, oh, you know, you still have to defeat this random big castle. I'm thinking of Darkest Dungeon now, and I mean, if you're familiar with my channel, you'll see that at the time of talking, I still have like a Darkest Dungeon silent playthrough, and I've been enjoying Darkest Dungeon because it's I think I haven't hit that point where I'm frustrated at the game yet, because it's like, but there are moments where I've had to take a break because I could not deal with like actually, okay. Let me think about how to phrase that differently. Darkest Dungeon is a weird one because the way I do it is that sometimes there are times where I just play in bursts, and other times where like, just like I play a whole lot in one go and then I take a break, or I just, you know, play a little bit every now and then, like, you know, I do a run every couple of days or so. I guess I'm pretty inconsistent when it comes to Darkest Dungeon, but in terms of roguelikes, in the sense that when you explore a dungeon in Darkest Dungeon, in the sense that when you explore a dungeon in Darkest Dungeon, the element of strategy and sort of the not so, I guess, active playing nature of it, and I guess what I mean when I refer to active playing is that right now, playing The Binding of Isaac, I'm actively moving around, I'm actively having to make actions, whereas with Darkest Dungeon, it's turn-based. So with Darkest Dungeon, it's sort of just easier to approach because it's not as active. It's like I can take a break to strategize something, or I can have fun, or you know, I can just sit back and strategize something and not have to think in real time. Ooh, yellow is good. Okay, we'll go with the yellow. Alright. Whoop. And what's the other one? These guys. Okay, very easily dealt with. Still grab some more coins for myself, but we'll definitely let Bumbo take care of some of them. Yellow is definitely more welcome than Dust Shot, so we'll go with that. Alright. Where's the exit? Where's the boss? I wonder, because this amnesia is really annoying me now. Now! I want my boss now! But yeah, Darkest Dungeon, great game. Definitely can recommend, because they really have created the right environment to sort of just like add enough suspense to the game, and essentially make the game enjoyable, but also require a degree of skill to the point where it's like, okay, you know, I can't just exactly you know, I just can't exactly go through every dungeon and just sort of just like, you know, roll face with it. So when I say roll face, I mean sort of just like, you know, it's not as easy as just like, oh, you know, I'm just gonna pick a bunch of guys, we just attack and do stuff, and then, you know, we win, that sort of thing. You kind of have to do a bit of strategizing. What do I want? Nothing really. And yeah, you kind of have to do a bit of strategizing in that sense. So definitely, it's not one of those games where you can just switch your brain off, sort of thing. So, and that's what I like about Darkest Dungeon. It's like, even though the gameplay in itself is relatively simple, the strategy aspect is what appeals to me. And I guess that's actually the other thing I didn't touch on in terms of roguelikes, that I suppose that and how am I trying to phrase it? I suppose it's the other thing that I haven't like really touched on in roguelikes, in terms of like what I enjoy, why I enjoy, and that sort of thing. So, and strategy is definitely another factor of it. It's like, I'm a person who prefers strategy over mechanics, and because it's basically who I am, and it's, I mean, that's something that I don't feel guilty about. So, you know, if you think it's an issue, well, look, I'm just gonna ignore you. But basically, I do prefer strategy over mechanics. I do enjoy games like XCOM, where, you know, you kind of just like strategize your moves before you actually take them, and that's definitely, I guess what draws me to strategy games, because I'm very much a thinking person by nature, and as such, I sort of enjoy strategizing. And as such, when it comes to roguelike games like these, where there is sometimes there's not a lot of strategy. At times it's like when there's an item, you just need to think, okay, what does this item do? Is it useful to me? And can I make use of it later? It's like, in terms of it, when it comes to like games like The Binding of Isaac and other things like that, sometimes it's just, and then it's just about knowledge. It's like once you know enough of the game, there's just not a lot of strategy because the decisions are very easy to make, and but I suppose that's not really what applies to Enter the Gungeon. I think it's more strategy depth. And when you compare, like, say, Enter the Gungeon to The Binding of Isaac, I think it's easier to say that The Binding of Isaac has more item variety, whereas in Enter the Gungeon is definitely a bit more mechanics focused. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's like, you know, some people have their own vision or how they feel a game should be. Others may. It's very tempting, but I will not take that. And other people were like, okay, I have an idea for this game, and then we're gonna develop it, and that's how the game ends up turning like, and then maybe they'll just fine-tune some of the parameters. And I mean, I don't claim to be a game developer. I don't actually know what they're thinking, but I mean, obviously we Enter the Gungeon, they did sort of like kind of go out in terms of the whole thing. We'll stick with the year out, so we just say before the chess floor. Alright, so where was I? Strategy. Yeah. So I mean, strategy in Binding of Isaac is certainly a bit more prominent because there's a lot of items, there's a lot of knowledge, and even though at some point the knowledge or the knowledge aspect is not as important, especially when okay, can I get out in time? No, that's a pity. No big deal. The knowledge aspect is not as important these days anymore when you've got like you could just basically look everything up in an online wiki. But I mean, part of the enjoyment in discovering the game is sort of like not knowing what an item does, and it's like maybe you want to observe what happens when you do so and so, or when you pick up this item, and then you just try and see the effects of it. And but for people like me who, you know, may not particularly have a lot of time to play each and every game, so sometimes we're just kind of lazy, or there are different aspects of the gameplay I've not seen this room before. Alright, well, that was easily dealt with. And but say for example, sometimes there's only certain aspects of a game that this is piercing tears, penetrative shots. Very welcome. Alright, sometimes there are, and I mean there's nothing wrong with looking up information as long as you're aware of as long as you're aware of what you enjoy in the game. And it's like for me when I play Darkest Dungeon, sometimes I still consult stuff, because what I enjoy most about Darkest Dungeon is the ambience, the atmosphere, and the strategy of how do I want to say it? Sort of like the strategy of deciding how to use your resource. Like I don't want to have to think too much about what resources should I produce and other things. So it's and it's like like say, you know, like the curio that appears along the corridors. And well, for those who are not familiar with Darkest Dungeon, they're basically when you traverse through a dungeon, there's sort of like stuff or items that you can interact with. And alright, I got to deal with the devil, so we have to, alright, excellent. It works for me very well. Yeah, when you traverse through Darkest Dungeon, there are sort of like items in the environment that you can interact with, and they're called curio. And before, when you're new to the game, you see them, you interact with them, you think, oh, what do they do? What items work well with them? What items don't work well with them? And that's part of the fun in discovering the game. And then, but for me, it's like after a while, I'm just like, well, okay, we've got a wiki that documents what everything does. So why should I try and find everything? Because at this stage, it just becomes a knowledge issue. Like, if I don't know, then I could just look it up. And I know to some people that's like kind of lazy, you know, it's nicer to actually just essentially go through and try and learn everything from scratch, because it's nice to discover things. It's nice to sort of, it's very tempting. Um, it's nice to discover things, and I guess that's sort of like the initial enjoyment of a roguelike, and then from there on people can sort of just play things however they want to play it. Oh, I'm up to the boss already. How very welcome. I wasn't really present so much in Rogue Legacy. In Binding of Isaac, definitely. It's a definite. And we'll go down to the next floor. And yeah, in Binding of Isaac, it was exactly a definite, and that's sort of what pulled a lot of people into the game to begin with. So definitely an element of discoverability and just thinking, oh, this is cool. Wonder what it does, that sort of thing. And then yeah, it kind of just goes from there. Trying to think. I don't think I have much else to say. I mean, I suppose I could comment on like each of the individual games, but I've kind of done that already. So just trying to think what else I can do. Well, in the least what I'll do is that I'll just continue at least commentating on this run as we go, and because I mean you know, why the heck not? I've been doing pretty well, and I'll be done hopefully within another 10 minutes or so. That's unless I decide to fight Hush. So alright, come on now. There we go. Yeah, and I guess I'll just kind of rush through the rest of this run because I'm pretty much know I'm gonna win this run anyway, unless I do something like really stupid. So I'm not gonna worry too much. Take this yellow, hope to get to the boss fairly soon. So yeah, I mean so far I've been doing pretty well in this run. You know, no, I don't want to deal with that. Just it's one of those things where it's just like I'm either lazy or I'm just like, no, that would just take more time than I'm interested in investing in this run right now. So yeah, I mean again to each the run. So alright, you up, alright, you up. There we go. Where's my boss room? Appreciate my boss room. Alright, I can get another black card, thank you. And there's my boss room. And do I want to fight Hush? No, I'll skip Hush this time around. Yeah, I mean this is pretty much a one run. I mean I'm quite happy with the assortment of items I have. And it was just a fairly straightforward. Oh my god, why did I do that? Alright, do I want Brimstone? Do I want... Oh Jesus. Yeah, we'll grab both of them. And screw myself up even further. Alright. And so yeah, I'm really not sure what other items would really help. So I mean it's just, you know, more damage items would be great, more upgrades would be great, but I suppose more health would be probably the #1 priority right now, which is not really that much of an issue since I've got a relic, so that's just pretty much easily dealt with. Yeah, sure. Oh, okay. Yeah, very welcome. Yeah, why the heck not? I mean, I'm doing so well. Let's just see how well I can do. But yeah, that's it. Definitely a lot more hearts is welcome. If we get any batteries, they'll be welcome as well. And then of course we'll keep an eye out for tinted rocks. And Bumbo is doing work here. And especially given that I've got like a whole bunch of familiars with me, it certainly makes my life very easy to deal with. So it's really now it's just a matter of just plowing through the rest and just finding the right rooms, finding the right items, getting enough speed down. Pretty much a matter of just finding a bit more spirit hearts and just items to get more spirit hearts. So I won't be too fussed I won't be too fussed about like clearing every single room, but certainly I don't think I have much to worry about. Wafer would be nice though. There's another spirit heart thanks to our relic, and since we've basically got the Polo 8, we've basically got Polo 8 invincibility, so nothing too much to worry about. And thankfully at this stage Monstro 2 is very easy to deal with. And I wonder, I'm just thinking in terms of Binding of Isaac bosses, why do they have a Monstro 2? Why is Monstro the only one to have a Monstro 2? That's something I've only just realized. well, let's not think too much about it, because really it's just a, I mean, what do I say? It's like it's one of those things where it's like it's nice to sort of just maybe oh god, what's the word? Like make up theories about, like just, you know, to enjoy thinking about, but it's like it's not something that's it's not something that you can confirm. So it's just like it's one of those things where it's like it's it's fun to entertain, but ultimately not worth obsessing over, because it's like, well, it's not something we have 100 god damn it, Bumbo. It's not one of those things where, like, you know, you can completely search out unless, you know, you get the opinion from someone who knows something, and this would be the developers themselves. So obviously it would be like a question of, you know, why is it like this? Why does Monstro have, say, just grab all these, come on now. Spider butt? No, stick with my satanic Bible. Alright, and this is pretty much a one run, so nothing much to worry about. Just gotta find Blue Baby and deal with him fairly quickly. I really like how large my familiars are, and big what, I don't remember the item it was. It was like big beautiful baby or something. No, BBF, big best friends. Oh my god, I have a terrible memory. I mean, my brain is kind of a bit fried. I've been working on a bunch of JavaScript stuff in the morning, so it's just like, okay, yeah. Ooh, Deadeye, thank you, and another Spirit Heart, very welcome as well. No, I'll keep my Satanic Bible. I still want more items. Very welcome, thank you. A Rosary, a Taurus. Okay, Taurus is not that great, but I mean, at this stage I don't really care anymore. I mean, as long as it's passive items, sure, why not? 60 long legs. The Fool. Okay, well, I suppose we could use that if we want to get out of a particular room, but I don't think it would be all that necessary. So, oh, okay. What did you puke out? I saw Bumbo like squeeze his eyes like he was gonna take a dump, but I didn't see anything come out. Oh well. We'll keep grabbing these items while we can. The Chariot. Chariot's definitely better than the Fool. So, Bumbo, you know, you're the player of the game, Bumbo. You're the man of the moment, the ace of the game. What other terms are there to sort of just the star of the day, the savior? Because you do what you do best, and that is dealing with. And why do I even try? What the hell is happening? I've got fire tears or something. I do have $3 bill, but I guess it's a bit hard to see what kind of tears I'm getting with this $3 bill. So we'll just deal with it as we come. But you know, we've got we're back to 12 hearts again, so I don't have too much to worry about. This stuff should be fairly easy to deal with. So super bandage. I mean, more health. I mean, what more am I gonna do with it? I mean, Blue Baby's done. So alright, what did you poop out, Bumbo? More keys? Alright, well, that's it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Again, still a very scrambled kind of just talk on roguelikes and such, but nevertheless, thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this Sunday content, I would still try to do, yeah, every Sunday I would try to show off a new game, or I would just talk about whatever topic that I feel like talking about at the moment, and play and at least show some appropriate game footage. So yeah, if you feel like listening to me every Sunday, feel free to subscribe so you can hear more of it, and hit that like and thumbs up button if you enjoyed it. But other than that, again, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and I will see you on the next video.